What's going on, everyone? I recently purchased my first BMW. It's a 335i 2012, the F30. So my previous car was a Subaru Legacy, 2006 Subaru Legacy actually. And I don't know, I just want to make kind of like a video of my impressions going from that car and then going to this car. I mean, I've always wanted a BMW. I always liked BMWs, especially the 3 Series. So I, saved up and got a new car. So, I mean, to start off, obviously the biggest difference is probably the key. So, key fob. I'm sure everyone's pretty well aware of that already, but I'm going just from a key putting in the ignition here. I mean, just I just put it in my pocket and I'm good to go. And then I guess the second major difference is the locking and unlocking the car. So this took about a day just to get used to. So that locks it. So the car's locked. And then you just go like this and it unlocks the whole car. So that was a big difference as well. I mean, just, like I said, going from a Subaru to this car, it's like, wow. Inside, obviously, just a totally different feel. Leather. I mean, paddle shifters on this car. I mean, it just feels good being in this car. Now, mind you, I went from a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, about 160 horsepower, to, for me, this is like a monster. It's like 3 liter inline 6, rated at 300 horsepower, but we all know BMW likes to underrate their stuff. I mean, the power just feels endless. I mean, you put your foot on the gas, and I mean, it goes like no other. At least compared to the Subaru, like I said, from where I'm coming from. I mean, that car, I did love that car. It was a great car. Never broke down. Never had any problems with it. I hope I'll be able to say the same for this car. From what I've read on forums, it's the motor and the transmission are supposedly bulletproof on this. Like, it's, just no problems. From what I hear, the biggest problems will be coming with electronics. I hope that's not true, but we'll see. I do have a warranty, so I don't have to worry about that for a while. But yeah, I mean, this thing just has power upon power upon power. I mean, it's endless power, in my opinion, and it just goes. You step on a little bit. I mean, that 8-speed transmission is just wow. Compared to the Subaru, my Subaru had a 4-speed, so I mean, that's 4 more gears. I mean, it's insane. I mean, you'll be going 80 miles an hour in this thing, and you're barely under 2,000 RPM. It's insane. In the Subaru, you'd be going around 80. You'd be close to 3, usually over 3,000 RPM. So there's a huge difference. I mean, it's like a rocket. I can't describe it enough. And every time I drive this thing, it just puts a huge smile on my face. I love it. I really do love it. I can't complain at all. And like I said, I always wanted a BMW. Now, I go from simple to really, really complicated as far as the electronics in this thing and the amount of things you can do. Bluetooth nowadays is simple, but I didn't have that in my car, in the Subaru. And you got Bluetooth. You can stream music wirelessly from your phone via Bluetooth. I mean, just these buttons here. I mean, you can program, like, this turns off the screen. It turns it on and off. That turns off the heads up display on and off. and you just hover your finger and it'll show up on the display too what each button does. I mean, it's gonna take a while for me to figure this out. I mean, I'm a techie guy, kind of, I guess. You know, I'm more tech savvy, I would say, but the amount of tech on this car is just, it just blew my mind. Now here's all the like packages that my car came with. So here's the sheet. So I mean, this thing came loaded, completely loaded. I got a great deal on this thing, as you saw. I got about $1,000 off, so I paid about $32.9 for this. But yeah, it's Sport Line. It's got cold weather package, parking assist package, premium sound package. Oh yeah, right, premium sound. So Harman Kardon, which is pretty badass, you know, to say the least. Yeah, the Sport Auto transmission. That was pretty important to me. So that it had the paddle shifters. I mean, you know, I always wanted a manual car, but I mean, the amount of traffic here, I'm like, you know, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be happy stuck in traffic every single day driving to and from work. It's just not, you know, gonna please me. So, plus it's really hard to find a manual anyways. As you can see, this car originally cost $50. Oh no, sorry. That's the limited warranty mileage. But actually, it did originally cost, I think, around $58,000 in 2012. So I mean, that's a huge price drop. But yeah, adaptive vent suspension. Oh yeah, not to mention it's got the sunshades, which apparently is pretty rare. A pretty rare option taken for these cars. So I actually really like that. It's automatic. So I was like, all right, cool. The mirrors, the side mirrors fold. The seats are heated. The front seats are heated and the rear seats are heated. The steering wheel's heated. I mean, you could just go on and on and on. And it's got navigation, which I also thought was important. Because, like, what's the point of having this awesome-ass screen and not taking full advantage of it, you know? So, and I love the gauge clusters of BMW. I'm a guy that loves analog things as well. Like, I like analog watches. Like a iWatch or whatever it's called. I probably wouldn't get that because it's just like, I already have a phone. I got a screen. I like analog watches. I think they're classy. And there's just something nice about mechanical things. So I guess I'll show you my face a little bit. You're probably sick and tired of looking at the dashboard when I'm recording. But yeah, my overall initial impression driving this car for, you know what, since Wednesday, it's Sunday, so what, 4 days? I mean, I'm just blown away. I'm so happy that I was able to purchase this car and even get to a, you know, stage where I'm fortunate enough to have something like this. Like this, I never thought I would, you know, at 24 years old, that I'd be able to have this car, you know, afford it even. I mean, barely afford it, but I can't afford it. But yeah, I mean, this car is just unbelievable. I really hope that I will still be in love with it, you know, 4 years from now or 6 years from now as I am now. Oh yeah, and the stitching in this car. I mean, look at the stitching on this. You know, it's got the red sport stitching to match the dash on the seats. And it's just, I don't know if you can see it. Well, this is a pretty shitty front facing camera. Hold on. What are the flashes on? Is the flash on? No. Yeah, so it's got the red stitching on the steering wheel. I mean, and all these, you know, here's the cruise control buttons right here. Here, I'm still trying to figure this out. This, when I press mode, it's like, I think it's for like the music on the heads-up display, and it changes right here. I'll do a more in-depth video at another point, like I do with my Subarus. So I mean, I'm just doing a video just with my impressions. I love this. You know, initially I did not like this at all. This red trim or whatever color, you know, like but actually, it's, as the car has been out, as I've seen it more and more, it has grown on me. I do like it now. I've always loved aluminum trim, so I was real happy about that. And just the build quality and finish of this, I mean, it's beautiful, really. I mean, this like soft touch, like this leather, this real leather, I mean, it feels so nice, like coming from like, you know, the Subaru, which just had material seats, which were fine, you know, nothing wrong with that. I'm not complaining, but it's like night and day, really. It's like as if, I don't know, like you're just like a average Joe, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, you're like the king of the country or something. It's like, wow. Maybe that's a stupid comparison, but I don't know what else to say. So here's the rear sunshade button right there, so that'll bring it down. Right here, that actually folds the side view mirrors, so I thought that was a really cool feature too. The only thing about that is I always forget to do that in the parking lot, and then, you know, I get to like the store, I'm like, oh man, I should have folded my mirrors down. So maybe there's a way to program that if anyone knows. I'm sure there is. But I do plan on doing some cool stuff eventually. Probably not anytime soon, since I got to save up some more money now that I spent all of it on this, and I got all my student loans. But I definitely want to put an exhaust on this thing, a badass exhaust. I heard agency power. I heard a couple of clips on YouTube with that exhaust system, and I really liked it. For some reason, it sounds like an Aston Martin to me. So I want to put that on. I want to lower the car, get some nice wheels. I don't know what kind yet. So, but that's all probably, you know, while. So, other things I didn't like initially when the 3 Series came out, I did not like this screen. I actually hated the fact that it stuck out like this, and you couldn't fold it down or anything. But you know, now that I own it, I've been driving it, it's actually nice, and you know, you can turn it off if you don't want to use it, so it's actually nice. I like it. Yeah, it's cool. It's like a half tablet. Like, it looks like someone just broke a tablet in half and then glued it on there. So I don't know, I like it a lot. And these gauges, I don't know if I mentioned this, they're identical to the Subaru pretty much, except they're flipped. So I don't know if back then Subaru was trying to be like Beamer, but it's flipped. So you'd have the RPM gauge would be on this side and the speedometer on that side. Same with the gas and the engine temperature. Those are flip-flopped. So yeah, and like I said, I love the analog, and I actually love that it's electronic, or not electronic, but like it's digital on the bottom. I think it's a nice little touch. Yeah, as far as storage, there's probably not much. But then again, you don't really need too much, I guess. 2 cups. I mean, a car like this, I'm like scared to even have drinks in here, really. Oh yeah, and I love the fact you could change the suspension and stuff on the car. You go Sport to Sport Plus. Initially, it's in Comfort. When you start the car. I've only done Eco Pro for maybe like 30 seconds on my way home once, and I don't know, it's not my thing, so I don't do that. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the start-stop, although I will say I did test drive a 328i, and it's a lot less prevalent in a 335. I'll tell you that. It's a lot less noticeable. The car doesn't shake as much, or barely. You can't even tell that it turns off most of the time. So I think maybe that should have been a feature that they, you know, maybe only had for the 335. Because in the 328, it's like the car turns off and it's so obvious, and when it turns back on, it just rumbles and it's loud, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like something like that it should be doing that for a car that you pay that much money for, you know? Or it'd also be nice if you could just have an option to not even have that feature. Because I would think if you're starting and stopping the car all the time at every stoplight, or if you're in traffic, that's going to play a huge toll on the ignition coils and all the stuff it takes to start the car. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's just what I think. I love the iDrive system as well. I haven't really used these buttons too much. I really just use this. This thing though, storage in here, I haven't really thought about it till like yesterday, but there's like, this is so shallow for storage. And holy crap, in my Subaru, you know, I had like a ton of stuff, like cologne and stuff in there. I had like notepads and sticky notes and pens and all this stuff. And here it's like so shallow. But I don't want to really clutter. I'm not a person that likes clutter. I also do like that there is a little extra storage compartment here. They said I could put like my sunglasses in there, so I might at some point. Here's the lights. So that's auto lights. I also noticed if you put it in auto and it's dark, when you turn the steering wheel, like if you're turning right, the fog lights in the front, like only the right fog light will turn on. It's like a guidance feature or something. At first I thought it was broken, but it's not. It's just like, I don't know, it's just a feature. So I thought that was kind of cool. Sort of. It's kind of annoying though, actually, now that I think about it, because like you have one light on. Whatever, man, I'm just making a big deal out of it, I guess. This turns on, oh yeah, look at that beautiful gauge cluster in red. I love it. I think it's beautiful. And then this turns on all the lights. And this turns on just the, like the, what is it called? Like the side lights or whatever. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, so that turns on these side markers, as well as along with the daytime running LED lights. And here's the fog lights right there. And then it also turns on the strips in the back, which I love. I love the L-tail lights. I think it looks really sexy at nighttime. I love the profile of the car. I love everything. I love the 18-inch wheels. I was wondering if you could probably like maybe put spacers on it, just make it look more aggressive, you know? But I don't know. So I love the ding too. I love the ding. Just makes you feel good, you know? Oh yeah, and then there it is for the hood. Yeah, like I said, if there's any W335i owners out there, you know, you have any advice or anything to let me know about the car, it'd be awesome to know. Or just talk about, or whatever, or some mods you've done. So yeah, just let me know, guys, and thanks for watching. See ya.